Hello, welcome to Air Solutions. I'll be showing you the employee enrollment process. We will go through the forms that will need to be completed to become a caregiver within Veteran-Directed Care, also known as VDC. Let's begin. The first page of the packet shows all the forms needing to be returned to ARIS. Also on the first page is our contact information, mailing address, fax number, toll-free number, and Veteran Department email. These are all monitored daily during our regular business hours. On our Welcome to Veteran-Directed Care page, you will see an overview of Veteran-Directed Care and a listing of what ARIS provides as the financial management services provider. In order to begin employment, you must pass all background checks and be authorized to work in the United States. The contact information page is for you to keep, ensuring you have a copy of our contact information and hours of operation on hand. The program integrity and fraud prevention pages are important to understanding how to protect the veteran from risk and exploitation. As a mandatory reporter, you are obligated to report any fraud, abusive activity to the Area Agency on Aging, the VA, and ARIS Solutions. The background check exclusions page is a listing of exclusions that would not warrant employment through Veteran-Directed Care. The employee confirmation of receipt asks you to sign off stating you understand your responsibility in terms of reporting fraud and abuse in addition to understanding the employment exclusions list. This form is kept in your electronic personnel file stored at ARIS Solutions on behalf of your employer of record. Let's move on to HIPAA and Protected Health Information, also known as PHI. As an employee within VDC, you are bound to confidentiality and privacy of the veterans and/or the employer of record's protected health information. There may even be instances while caring for the veteran that you are asked to disclose PHI, and you may do so in situations where medically it may be necessary. However, if you feel that releasing the PHI is not for the benefit or well-being of the veteran and violates their privacy, then you are not to disclose that information and need to alert all appropriate parties. We ask that you sign a statement that illustrates you understand confidentiality and the privacy agreement. For this form to be complete, a witness will need to be present during your signature and they will need to sign off as well. The next part of the packet is for information gathering. We will start with the employee hiring notice. Please fill out all fields so we can properly document your demographic information. Moving on to the relationship disclosure form. This form can cause confusion. If you are related to your employer of record, then you check off the Yes section. If you are not related to your employer, check off No and move on to the next page. If you are related, you as an employee are required to accept certain exemptions per the IRS based on the type of relationship you hold with the employer. An example of this is if you are a spouse of your employer. That exemption means you as an employee are not liable for Social Security and Medicare taxes, and the employer is not liable for their match for those taxes. This is an authorization form needed in order to run the proper background checks on behalf of your employer. The federal W-4 is next. Please fill in parts 1 and 3 and sign in part 5. Parts 2 and 4 are only filled out if they're applicable to you and your tax situation. We have included the W-4 instructions with the worksheet and applicable tax table to help you. However, we are not tax accountants and cannot advise you on how to fill out your withholding certificate. We are payroll agents that can guide you through the understanding of the form, but are not able to make recommendations on how to fill out your W-4. I'm using the Maine enrollment packet as our sample, but if you're not in the state of Maine, then the state W-4 would be inserted here as applicable. If the state W-4 form is not completed, your state withholding will default to what is on the federal form. Instructions to the form are included here as well. If your state does not have its own state withholding certificate, then again, your state withholding will default to the federal withholding form designations. If you do not want to receive a paper check for payroll, then please fill out this direct deposit form. If you do not have a bank account, we do offer a pay card option that acts like a debit card. Once you receive and activate it, you will begin receiving your funds directly deposited to that card. We will now move on to the I-9 form. This form establishes employment eligibility through the Department of Homeland Security. Both the employee and employer will need to partake in completing this form. Page 1 is employee information and signature. Page 2 is employee documentation, employer verification of that documentation, and employer signature once those forms are validated. Documents provided for your employer to review need to be unexpired. We have included the list of acceptable documents here. The last few pages are to assist in timesheet submission. A separate timesheet video is available on our website to show you how to fill out a timesheet in addition to how to submit it. This is the extent of the employee enrollment packet. Submission of the packet can be sent by USPS, fax, scanned, or sent to the veteran payroll email address provided. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.